Welcome back to the arena. I am still Michael Coren. It doesn't change. Abortion, euthanasia, marriage, family, and all matters related. What a lot to discuss. And who better to do so than Christina Alaimo from Campaign Life, just back from Washington, D.C., the March for Life, where there were, what, 100 billion people? Is that the estimate you were giving out?
A little less than that, a couple 100,000, I would say. That's
really?
Mainstream media reported about 315,000. So it's quite a lot.
You always say mainstream media. That's media you disapprove of, right?
No, not disapprove, but skeptical of,
right,
for sure.
Because I saw some numbers quoted of more than 400,000.
Yes.
And I've only been in a crowd of 100,000. That was for soccer, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's a huge number of people.
Yeah.
I mean, to claim 400,000, seems to me that some of the claims by your supporters are outlandish, and the ignoring of the march is repugnant. So the truth is somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, some middle number.
Was it productive?
It was very inspiring, given me new zeal for the cause. So in that way, it was very productive.
I suppose, I mean, that alone, just to reinvigorate people and tell them they're not alone.
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you feel alone sometimes?
Not alone, because I have some great colleagues and I work with a lot of wonderful young people. But when I do media interviews and when I'm in the university classroom, that's when I do feel very alone and very outnumbered. Even if there are maybe a couple of other people, especially in my lectures, who might agree with me, it is a very isolating experience. Yeah.
Okay, let's go through some of these. I mean, they're all abortion-related, I think, today. Margaret Somerville, who is a very good woman, a modest proposal for respecting physicians' freedom of conscience. Tell us more.
So right now, physicians' freedom of conscience is under attack. The College of Physicians has put out a document that says that a person's right to health care trumps the doctor's right to freedom of conscience. So, for example, in the case of an abortion, even if a physician refuses to provide a direct abortion, that physicians have to refer a woman or her family to an abortionist, which is problematic because that is material cooperation with the action, and that is simply not okay for a lot of physicians.
But it's the law.
Well, it's not quite the law yet.
Well, no, abortion is legal.
Yes, abortion
is funded. I fully respect a doctor's right to say no, but isn't the doctor obliged then to not be a doctor or to practice somewhere? I mean, it's one thing for the doctor to say, I'm not going to perform this. I mean, my golly, we'd be a pretty authoritarian state if we forced that.
Yes.
But would not refer you to someone? I'll refer you to someone else. I'm afraid I can't be part of this. I'll refer you to another doctor. Surely that's a good Canadian middle ground.
I would say that it's not a good middle ground, because if we're talking about what a pro-life, anti-abortion doctor would believe, they believe that abortion is the killing of an innocent person inside a mother's womb. So to refer a mother to another doctor would be effectively giving them direct access to...
What would that woman do then?
A woman could seek another doctor's opinion and help. I mean, there are so many doctors out there, vastly outnumbered, but the Charter does protect rights of religious and freedom of conscience.
If you're in a town where there's only, I mean, there could be a couple of doctors, but it can be quite hard to get a new doctor if that doctor would. What about contraception, for example?
Such as prescribing the birth control pill. It would be the same thing, because especially the birth control pill, it's again an ethical issue because it is an abortifacient, which means it has the potential to cause an abortion, ergo ending the life of an innocent human being. So for a doctor to prescribe the pill would go against their conscience and their...
What about if it was not for birth control, it was just medically necessary?
Well, that's interesting that you bring up that point, because the Guttmacher Institute, founded by Dr. Alan Guttmacher, which is a very pro-abortion institute, Dr. Guttmacher made the statement that there is no medical necessity in abortion. So there is not
What about if the birth control pill was being prescribed not in any way for procreation, anything
such
connected?
as for acne cleanup?
No, I don't mean acne. I mean if someone was suffering, for example, chronic stomach pains, and it's not infrequent to prescribe that to help a woman.
That is true. I mean, a doctor, I think, in good conscience, could prescribe it if he knew the woman was not sexually active, for example.
But I mean, I think many people would say it's a way around the law. I mean, there's a campaign, and I fully respect this campaign. Abortion is wrong. You're trying to use political means and legal means and sociological means to win this battle. But it seems to be going behind the scene individual doctors deciding what will be allowed and what won't be allowed. And it doesn't, as you say, it doesn't matter much in a big city because they can go to another doctor. Someone would have to be very zealous to go after one particular doctor. But if it's a smaller town and that's the only doctor in town, or there are two doctors, what you're really saying is that the will and view of that one particular doctor is more important than the will and view of all the women who go to see him who may, for example, want the contraceptive pill.
I absolutely disagree, because doctors, when they are graduating from med school, they take the Hippocratic Oath, which is an oath to protect life, the patient's life,
well, to do no harm,
includes, and that includes the life of unborn children. And it says directly to not kill and not perform abortions. No, it's very explicit in the Hippocratic. So what I like to call it now is the hypocritical oath, because unfortunately the Hippocratic Oath, if you look at it, it has been edited to remove things like abortion and euthanasia. So that's the implicit oath that you're talking about.
How old is it?
Thousands of years old.
Exactly. Things do change, don't they? Things do tend to change over the centuries, over the millennia.
The right to life has always remained there. And I think that has remained unchanged despite technological changes and ideological changes. The right to life, which is, again, protected by our Charter of Rights and Freedom. But the right to life for who? And apparently that doesn't include preborn human beings.
No, it certainly doesn't.
No.
And you may be able to change that. I mean, you know, and as I say, it's a vibrant campaign. But I think until you do, and it's not going to be easy.
No.
I think by trying to persuade in individual cases and protect the rights of doctors, I mean, I don't believe this can stand up to scrutiny, legal scrutiny or political scrutiny. I mean, I think you probably agree with me.
Yeah.
There'll be enough pressure to say you cannot stop, and it'll be unfair to individual doctors. They're put in a very difficult position, and they shouldn't have to resign their position simply because they disagree. It's a tough one. We had so many other topics, but that was more than enough.
Yes.
Welcome back. Thank you very much.
Thank you.